Hey everyone, it's me Matt, and I'm back with another modified video. This is the Ninjago Crystalized collection, so all of the main ninja vehicles from the Crystalized season. So it mainly started with one vehicle and then I went through all of them, which ranged from, just a few small coloured changes of, fixing up a few technical bits to a bit of colour correction to a full-on change up. So I'll go through the smallest and work my way up. This is Jay's Golden Dragon bike. For this one it was just cleaning up some of the Technic pieces along here, just making the colour scheme more consistent. I could also change out these ones at the end here, so the whole thing could be grey, but the splash of black kind of helped blend the wheels together, because originally it was, there was exposed Technic bits and there was gunmetal here, so I just switched that out to black so it was more consistent. So this had the least changes, so let's just move on to the next one. This is Zane's Golden Dragon Jet. This one was a lot more colour changing, so it was to get the white colour scheme more consistent. So I switched out all of this central section to be all white, because it had all the black in there, and I changed out the panel from the stickered piece. It gets a little bit stuck just because it's not as flat, so it has to have the same position so it doesn't get stuck, but I think it just looks better. And then on the front I switched out these slope pieces, so because they were gold before, I just switched them out to white, because it helps blend the colour scheme a bit more, so it's not just all gold at the front and then white at the back. And then I just added these bracket pieces here, just to add some detail into that section. Yeah, so pretty basic change, but I think it just helped make it more a consistent colour scheme. This is Cole's vehicle. So this started as just trying to make it a bit more consistent overall, because one of my main issues with it was the front tires having the chunky gold pieces and then just smaller ones at the front. So I started off by doing that, and then just fixing stuff as I went along. So I wanted to fill out this front section to have more consistent orange. So I added these orange like wheel covers, and I centered them, because for some reason on the original model they are off center to the actual wheel, so it just looked weird. And so with the rebuild of this section and having this orange flow more, I reattached the front bonnet so that now swings open from the front rather than the top. Just means that I've got more plating up on here, and then it still has the function to open to use as storage, and it keeps most of the aesthetic. I just wanted to chunk it out a bit more. And then on the set there's like this strip of grey at the front windshield, and then it just stops. So what I've done is I've continued it and wrapped it around the entire cockpit area. So it's now basically this grey ring, keeps it more consistent, it flows better from the front to back. And then I just filled out a few of the side sections with a bit more detail, covered up some of the open areas, and then it was just a few small part changes and colour changes, like the Technic pieces up the back here, they were light grey, so it was you have all these darker colours and suddenly the light bluish grey, so I switched that out so it's more consistent. So here is the big one, the one that started this whole modded project, which went through the most drastic changes, as you can see. So Kai's Dragon Raider, which I've now redubbed the Dragon Marauder, which felt more fitting for its size. Yeah. So with the original aesthetic, I wasn't something about the spindly arm wheels just didn't look right, and they didn't have the movement that I thought it did. So I thought, it's such a large and heavy back section, I'm like, let's bring that to the front. So with just these Technic tank treads, I built out these full sections. So it still connects pretty much the same as the wheels. It still uses the arms, and they have the same connection, so you know, it can still do the same pose. So here's a look at the construction of it. So this is all just paneling over the top of a Technic frame, just to get the shape, and then inside at the front here there's the Technic ratchet, so that when the vehicle extends up you can adjust this so it doesn't awkwardly go up, like you can still have a bit more flat on it. So here's the, and so I used a lot of the pieces from the original wheel arms to build this out. So just attach these on, and then yeah, so for the outside I used these older gold pieces. Originally I had like a large panel, but it looked too big, so I'm like, I wanted to keep it a bit more sleek, so these older gold pieces looked really nice. You know, use the blade pieces almost in the same position as on the original tires, and then the gold armoring and engine pieces just fit nicely. So you know, mirrored that on both sides. I can get that back on. So it still has, so it can only move one thing out, because maybe two, but it's like it, because of where the treads end up at the back here, with just enough space, you know, next to the wing pieces. You can't go out too much further. So here's the function of, for it to raise up, and then you just push on the treads, and it makes it sit a lot better, and it can, you know, still run, because I made sure I had the rubber bits on here. So for a few other small changes, the giant fin piece that was on here, I switched it out for just a little like angled slope bit, and the fin I've now chucked on the back, because there was just a circular piece on there, so I just switched that out for the fin, so that just adds a bit of kick to the end. And besides that, most of the vehicle stayed the same, because this one was actually panelled up pretty nicely, and the colour was decently consistent, so yeah, I didn't have to change much else. Thanks for watching. If you want any more close-up pictures of any of the vehicles, to do some of the changes yourself, you can just send me a message on Instagram. I'm happy to get some close-up photos for anyone who's, you know, really interested. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching.